Hello and welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Marta, I come from Norway and I love makeup. And today I am going to do the second part of my Birthstone series where I make a quad based on this month's Birthstone. The first month was in April when I did the Diamond Birthstone, and now it's May, which means it's time for the Emerald Birthstone. And as I did say in my last video, I do want to focus a bit more on my glitters and more sparkly pigments and shadows. And if you don't like glitter, then this quad is probably not for you, because I decided to put in 2 glitters in this one. I did find out about the birthstones by just googling for some monthly colors and stuff, and I found Wixen Jewelers, which have it's a website for jewelry, and they have descriptions of all of the different birthstones, so I am just going to read out to you what it says about emerald. So it's obviously the May birthstone, and it says green is the color of spring and has long symbolized love and rebirth. As the gem of Venus, it is also considered to aid in fertility. Cleopatra, Egypt's tempestuous female monarch, was as famous for wearing emeralds as Liz Taylor is for wearing diamonds. Ancient Egyptian mummies were often buried wearing an emerald carved with the symbol of verdure, flourishing greenness on their necks to symbolize eternal youth. A deeper and more vivid color of green signifies a more valuable gemstone. The most valuable and beautiful emeralds exhibit an intense bluish hue in addition to their bold green color. Emeralds, among the rarest of gems, are almost always found with birthmarks, also known as inclusions. Some inclusions are expected and do not detract from the value of the stone as much as with other gemstones. So with that in mind, I will show you the color story that I came up with. So this is my emerald quad, and as you can see, I have some variations of glitters. As I said, I have 2 different glitters, and I have a deep, I would say this can count as a deep emerald. This is Squad by Colored Raine, and I just really love how deep and bright and vivid this is. And I do also have another matte here, which is a lighter green, because I love to have some nice depth in my palettes. Obviously you don't have to have a super deep color, and you don't have to have a super light one, but I just thought it would be nice because then you can blend it out with, you can blend out this darker shade with the lighter, more vivid, almost lime green shade. So this is Sublimate by Clionadh, and I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing these names wrong. Anyway, I also added 2 glitters here from With Love Cosmetics, because as I said, I do want to add some more glitters to this series, because I don't get nearly enough use out of my glitters that I should. And these are from With Love Cosmetics. They usually come in bigger pans, but I have repanned them into 26mm pans. The ones I have are a bit deeper, so they fit all the product. And this one is actually called Emerald, and honestly I don't really know why, because it doesn't really look like an emerald color. It's very light, but that's why I thought it would pair nicely with this color story. And then here I have one that is actually, in my opinion, very emerald-like, because it has that gorgeous blue hue, but it also has this gorgeous green emerald shade. So I'm hoping that you're able to catch some of that shift when I'm moving it like this. It's a stunning glitter. I really like that one. And this is called Safari. So we have Sublimate by Clionadh, then we have Emerald by With Love Cosmetics, then it's Safari by With Love Cosmetics, and Squad by Colored Raine. And I'm going to go ahead and swatch them for you guys. So here you have them swatched out. Obviously glitters do not swatch as good as shadows, but I'm going to just change the lighting and try to light with my phone so you can see them in different lighting to see the actual colors and shifts. Now that I have shown you my quad, I will also show you how I did this look right here using all of the shades in the quad, of course. My plan for today's look is to start out with squad here, and I did just apply my ABH primer and some tape, so I will just be basically building this up in the outer crease and like on top of the tape so that I have a sharp line. I do think I want to go in with a liner. And I want to build it up all over the crease, and then I want to blend it out with Sublimate as a transition shade. And for my lid I want to go in with Safari on the outer lid, and then this one on the inner lid, but kind of overlapping a bit, especially like on the top right here in the crease, so that I have like a highlighted area going like this, and then the Safari shade like this. So I'm just using my Clionadh Makeup S3 brush, and I'll be going in with Squad, which is super pigmented and a powdery shadow, so I'm going to have quite a bit of fallout, I'm sure. So I'm just making sure that my eye primer is completely creaseless. This is the ABH one that I haven't really used much, so I'm hoping that these shadows will perform nicely on it. It's the third time I'm using it, and I don't really know how to feel about it yet. I'm not like super impressed. But as usual, I'm just going to like place the pigment and then slightly buff out the edges. That's what I always do, so that I have like a nice gradient to build the transition shade on, but also so that I kind of set the base with the pigment to get as good of a pigmentation out of the eyeshadow as I can possibly get. And I always try to make sure that I place it so that it's still like barely visible. If you want a darker look, then of course you drag it further up, but I just want it as a deepening shade, so I will have to go a little bit further up than what I am now. So I am liking the shape like it is now, because you can totally see that deep color. So now I will be taking Sublimate here, and I will just be using that as my transition shade and pack it on top of where I did the blending of the shade Squad. And I'm not scared to like go a little bit on top of it, because I can just go back in with Squad afterwards. And this shadow is so pigmented for being such a light lime green shade, so I'm really loving that, and I barely have to blend it because it's so light. So now I'm going back in with that same brush. I didn't really apply much more product, I'm just working with whatever is left on the brush. And again, I'm just buffing the edges. So I will just continue to work a bit on the blending, do the same thing on my other eye, and then I will go in with the glitters. So I'm quite happy with how these shadows are blending. I do see sort of like a line here after leaving my eyeshadow on while being a bit on my phone, but I'm basically going to cover up a lot of this with the glitter anyway, so I will just go ahead and fix that afterwards, I guess. I mean, you can just see how it works right now though. But I'm just going to go in, as I said, with the darkest glitter on my outer corner of the crease and the lightest glitter on the inner corner of my crease. And I will just be using this random flat brush right here. And the darkest shade that I'm going in with now is called Safari, and they do have adhesive in them, so I'm not going to go in with any extra glitter glue or anything, because I feel like these stick to your eye during the day anyway, so I don't want to like risk them creasing on me or anything. I'm so sorry that I'm always like going out of frame. That's like the hardest thing about filming so close up when I do my looks. It's that I'm suddenly like bending down towards the mirror because I'm nearsighted, so I can't really see that well on a distance, so I'm like sitting like this right now. So I'm really trying to like press down the glitter and make sure I don't have too much glitter on, like a thick layer, because I have noticed that I do sometimes have a little bit of fallout with the With Love Cosmetics glitter, but they still like, they don't crease and they look perfectly fine in the end of the day after like many hours. So it's just the fact that I think I apply too much. So I did just leave some space up here because as I said in the beginning, I do want to have this one going a bit, I don't know what you call that kind of a shape, but I want it to like be on top here. This is coming off way more yellow than I first expected. I mean, it's called emerald, so I didn't expect it to be that warm toned, but I guess I can just layer that deeper shade. Like I feel like this is more emerald than the shade that's actually called emerald. But I can just mix them a bit together on the lid once I have this placed down where I want it. Like I like to map out the cut crease first and then I can like go in and fill in. I don't necessarily have to have it like a super defined cut crease. I like it when it's like not messy necessarily, but as you can see here that there's a couple of glitter specks like above the actual cut crease to make it look less sharp. So as I said, I do like the color of the darkest glitter the most, so I will just fill in the sparse areas here and sort of like blend the darker glitter into that lighter glitter. And now I'm probably applying too much because I'm like overlapping here, so I have a thick layer of glitter. So there's like no wonder I get creasing, no, not creasing, but fallout when I apply it like this. But I didn't know that I would like this darker one so much more. So I think this is fine for now. I will go in with some liner and of course do the other eye and maybe my face makeup before I do my lower lash line. I'm so sorry if the light is changing a lot because I'm trying out some new settings, so I hope it's fine. Now I just put on some foundation and concealer and I'm just going to do my lower lash line before I put on bronzer and blush and highlight. So I'm just taking Squad and I'm just packing that into the lower lash line right here. I don't want it too far down because I feel like sometimes if I do that it will sort of transfer down. I don't know why. I think it's just because it's so freaking pigmented. So I just would like to have this close to the lash line and not down on my fold right here, because then it's going to go down to the rest of my eye after a couple hours of wear, so I don't personally like that. So I'll just take this one like this, blend out the edges a little bit, and then I will be going in with Sublimate. I'll make sure also that I get this little area here covered so I don't have like a bald spot there. So that is my finished look using my little emerald quad here for the month of May. And I love green colors, so this is totally a color story for me. And you can totally make something similar like this just with like if you don't like glitters, you can use some shimmers instead. There are so many shimmers that have like a dark green emerald finish to them, so you can definitely go and do that. For example, you have Ether from Lethal Cosmetics, you have Secret Garden by Makeup Geek, which has this teal shift to it as well. And yeah, there's just generally a lot of them. Forbidden by Colored Raine has a deep emerald sheen, sort of. Yeah, there's a lot. But I really wanted to do something with my glitters because I love pressed glitters. I know a lot of people don't like it, but for me, I just love glitter. It's so sparkly and shiny, and I can't help myself, okay? And I do really like how this look turned out as well. For my lips, I ended up using a random lip liner by the Norwegian brand Makeup Mecca right here. It's number 6. And then I used my Kaleidos Makeup Lip Tonic here in the shade Infusion. It's one of their more nude shades because they have a more mauve tones and they have a more orangey tone, and this is like more in the middle, I feel like. And my highlighter is Glass Slipper by Luxie Beauty, and I felt like that was like the perfect match for this look because it has like this light green sheen to it, but it's also a bit goldy and very bright and shiny, so I love that. And I used my Jouer Sunswept bronzer and contour duo that I have here. It's the lightest one, Sunswept. I love this, and I feel like my skin makeup actually ended up looking really good today. And I didn't really use anything different than I usually use. I used my Lumene Natural Glow foundation. I also used Smashbox primer actually. I'm trying to get a feel for that again because I haven't used it in such a long time. And I used my Infinite Longwear concealer in the shade C07. I always put all of this information down in my description box, by the way. But I did do something different today because I didn't use normal setting spray because I figured, why am I wasting my expensive setting spray when I'm just going to be at home? So I just used my Mario Badescu Rose Water, and it just made my skin feel so luminous and hydrated because I use powder to set my base, and I also use some powder foundation to get some extra coverage because I use a very light foundation. So I don't know, I just really like it. But anyway, this video is not really about my skin makeup or anything like that. I just wanted to let you know. And yeah, I guess that's it for this video. I hope that you liked my little color story right here. If you did, please leave a comment down below why you liked it. If you didn't, please let me know if it was the pressed glitters, or like what would you put in an emerald quad. I'm always intrigued to know what other people would do. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already and you want to see more content from me. And thank you so much for watching. Bye!